Good morning. Excuse my bedhead. Just got out of bed about an hour ago, drinking my coffee, but today I am going to head to a few of the local bookstores here in Shanghai, China, where I live. So, if you're curious to see what a bookstore in China looks like, or at least the ones here in Shanghai, I'm going to take you guys along with me so you can see what is going on in Shanghai, China, since the pandemic is basically over, I guess. No one's talking about it anymore. So, anyhow, I'm going to finish my coffee. Maybe get something to eat here. I might head to a coffee shop before I go to the bookstore, so I'll take you guys along for that too. But yeah, I hope you stick around because these bookstores are where I spend a lot of my time, a lot of my money, and you know, it's just cool. If you're a book lover like me, then you want to explore great bookstores. So let's go check it out together. Alright, so I'm out of the house, heading to bookstore number 1. Actually, I think I'm going to add another one today. So I was only going to go to 2, but I think we're going to hit 3. So we'll go to 1 that's nearby the house, and then we'll go a little further afield. So yeah, I know I haven't made a video in a long time. I think it's been a year. I filmed a couple. I plan on releasing them. I don't know, I've just been really busy at work, which is an excuse, of course, but I have a very complex job. Sometimes I can get very focused on work, but then when I'm out of work, I don't want to do anything. I'm so depleted, I'm so burnt that I just want to relax at home and not do anything except read books. I have dialed in my routines, my practices at work a little bit better over the last year, and I think that I'm at a place now where I can start really creating again. So one of the only things I miss about living in the United States is easy access to English language bookstores. So obviously most of the bookstores here in China are Chinese, Mandarin, and I used to work for Borders Books and Music, if some of my OG Borders fans out there. I worked for Borders almost up until the end. I got out right before like the bankruptcy and all that stuff. It was terrible. It sucked. It really bummed me out. That was a long time ago, many, many years ago. So in China, there are bookstores everywhere. Almost every mall has a bookstore or a stationery store of some sort. But of course, there's not a whole lot of English language. I'm going to the 3 today that I frequent most often. All right, alrighty, first store is in the Jing'an Carry Center right here. It's all the way up on, I think it's the 5th or 6th floor. It's up with the cinema, so if you live in Shanghai, if you're looking for one, bookstore in the Jing'an neighborhood where I live. All right, so the bookstore's on the 4th floor. I overestimated the height of this mall. Every mall in China is like 6 or 8 stories, it seems like. Anyhow, it's on the 4th floor, and it's near the cinema. Cinema's here behind me, so it's got a really cool entrance. Oh, they're not open yet. What time is it? I gotta wait 3 minutes for them to open. The other thing in malls in China, there's a lot of like florists and plant shops in a mall. Well, you'd never see that in the US. This is really cool. Anyhow, so again, that's what I love about China is that, you know, there's this big, beautiful mall, billions of dollars probably to build this thing, hundreds of millions at least. And then, you know, you've got your regular shops, your luxury items, your Gucci's, your Pradas, and all that kind of stuff. But then you have, you know, a guy that sells Venus flytraps on the 4th floor. All right, bookstore is open. Let's go check it out. One thing you got to get used to though in a Chinese bookstore, even if it's an English bookstore, is that the alphabetization is rough, which you can understand. I would not be able to alphabetize a Chinese bookstore. But like to give you an example, it's like this is like a business book, you know, kind of productivity, career, you know, that type of genre, I guess, right? But then you've got a dictionary in the middle of it. And this has been sitting here for a year because I come to this bookstore all the time. And you've got these two down here, these are novels. It's okay, you just have to hunt. Yeah, so I come into these bookstores and then I feel like I'm searching because I know that they might have gotten a new shipment and they might have just thrown it on a shelf somewhere, maybe not in the proper place or in the right genre. So little fun games to keep the brain occupied while shopping. I think I might just be sticking with the Goldfinch, Donna Tartt. I was watching some interviews with her last night. She's only written 3 books in her career. I think this one, won like every award. But she writes 1 book every 10 years, so she's in her mid to late 50s now. She published her first book at 28, and she's only written 3 books. She takes 10 years a book. Really fascinating, her work process. She's just very deliberate. If you're a writer, you want it to be as good as possible. All right, I'm gonna pay for this and get out of here. The guy who rang me up was funny. He's like, is a Harry Potter bag okay? Of course it is. I love Harry Potter. In fact, I was working at Borders during the height of the Harry Potter boom, and that was actually the indicator of how I knew that Borders was financially in trouble. Just a quick story. So I was a district manager for Borders at the time. I had, like 12 stores, and we had underbought the newest Harry Potter book, which was just stupid because everybody knew this was going to be this huge phenomenon. It was like Harry Potter, the 4th one, because that was when the book really jumped up in size, like in page count, right? We sold out on the midnight release party, everybody dressed up like Harry Potter and Hermione. All my stores were sold out, which sounds great, but then you go down the street and you see the Barnes & Noble still has stacks and stacks of them, and they're just continuing to sell and sell and sell, right? My market director calls me and she says, take the corporate card to Costco, buy as many copies as they'll let you, bring them back in the store, and then put them into inventory, and then reimburse the corporate card. I don't think Costco had caught on at that point yet, and there was basically no limit for like books and stuff. So I stacked up a pallet of these books. I probably bought 50 to 70 copies of The Goblet of Fire, and then spread them across my stores until the next shipment from Borders Fulfillment Center, like our actual purchase of books. I have a ton of funny stories from my life in retail leadership. I am going to stop at this coffee shop and get some writing done, and then I'll head to the next bookstore. So.
Blue dude, blue moon, kinda mysterious, shaded with someone I'm not really into. Do you need to fix it? Talking bullshit. It's hard to see you when your eyes look dull. Who's gonna save you?
All right, I'm gonna take the metro to the next bookstore, save some time walking. I did a long walk yesterday, 7.5 miles around the city. Today I probably won't go that far. Still walk quite a bit. All right, so I took the metro 3 stops from Jing'an neighborhood to Nanjing East area, and this is actually nearby where I work. Once I get there, I'll show you what all the fuss is about. This is my favorite bookstore in Shanghai. If you live in Shanghai, this is Fuzhou Road, and it has a lot of art supplies and bookstores, one of which is the foreign language bookstore. Here we are. They smile, they say hi. They must think that I am building my own bookstore, buying my inventory here for as many books as I typically buy in this place. All right, so just got done with the foreign language bookstore here behind me. Only purchased one book. We're going to 3 bookstores today, so I'm sure I'll still end up with 3 books. So the other bookstore we're going to is in Pudong, which is across the river. So I'm gonna order a car. All right, car is ordered. It's on its way. All right, next bookstore is in this outdoor, beautiful mall called Taikoo Li. The Taikoo Li brand, there are various locations across China. So I used to work in a Taikoo Li mall in Chengdu, China. The bookstore, I think, is on the top level. So let's go up and check it out. So yeah, these Taikoo Li branded malls are super high-end malls. Really beautiful architecture, typically. As you can see here, they actually have a running track on the top of the mall. So it's like walking, running lanes, as you can see here. It's a Japanese brand. There's a few of them in town. Yeah, really cool stuff in here. Let's go. So that is the 40 years of their Souverain pin. I do not own one of those. The green stripe with gold, it's really pretty. Not paying 2,000 US for a pin, no matter how awesome it is. But anyhow, this is the kind of stuff you get in this bookstore that you're getting $2,000 pins, $4,000 books, and really cool collectible type things here. Let's get a full tour of this bookstore because it's enormous and it's beautiful. So I'm gonna walk you guys kind of around the perimeter so you can see exactly what this place has in store. This rotunda area is really cool. Now again, all of this is Chinese language. I should say pretty much all of it is. Interspersed in each section, there are a few English titles. Like you see, we've got Harry Potter here in Chinese. What I love is you can just kind of like get into these quiet areas where there's not a whole lot of people. All right, now we're getting close to the section that has English language. So they used to have a couple shelves of fiction right here. Here we are. Nope. Gloriously dark, dripping with atmosphere. Nope. So this is the problem. Well, you know, like I get it, right? I mean, I'm in China. I understand that they don't have every book that I might want to read. So I have to be totally grateful and thankful that I even have anything in English here. However, it's such a cool store. They could just have a couple more shelves. It would be okay. Okay, well, it is what it is. So let's go down and check out the nonfiction business section. Maybe there's something there that will pique my interest. Once again, let's take a look. It's a book on how to study magic, a guide to history, lore, and building your own practice. Don't think I'm going to be getting into witchcraft, but who knows? Maybe someday I'll know where to come. Alien thinking. What is this? Alien thinking. I don't want to do that much thinking right now. Kings of crypto. I don't want to read about crypto right now. Even though I'm a huge Bitcoin fan. This is a maybe. I mean, there's definitely cool books here. I don't know. Not gonna buy any books here. Not gonna buy any books today. That's a bummer. But it's okay. I will survive. All right, so I found another little bookstore here in the same mall. It's like art books and books about movies, and it's attached to this movie theater behind me. And it's mostly like art books and books about movies. So, pretty cool. But take a look at the design of this store. It's really cool. I've never been to this bookstore before. They have all these old posters, old cinematic posters. This is really interesting, considering Ridley Scott just released the Napoleon movie, but this is an archive of Stanley Kubrick's attempt to make Napoleon. Really cool. So, 4 bookstores today. That one was super cool. It's called Kubrick, after Stanley Kubrick, who, again, I was just talking about the Napoleon book. Man, I wish that whole store was English language. I did buy a book called The Moviegoer by Walker Percy, and I've actually been looking for that book for a while. It really doesn't have too much to do with movies, I don't think. I think it has to do more with Stoicism from what I've heard, but anyhow, I don't know. I've wanted to read it for a while, so I've never seen it here in China, so I picked that up. So this is the one that I just talked about, The Moviegoer, Walker Percy. A altogether tragic and curiously noble study in the loneliness of necessary human perceptions. First published in 1961, so let's see if it still holds up. Monsters, A Fan's Dilemma, and this is by Claire Dederer, I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, Dederer. And this is interesting, I've been looking for this one. So this is it's kind of like a literary critique, but it's more about, can we appreciate the art of artists who have done monstrous things? So if you think about people like, Woody Allen, Roman Polanski, Harvey Weinstein, some of these people who have been convicted of these horrific crimes, or have not been convicted, but we know they committed them. Can we still appreciate their art? And this is supposed to be a very nuanced argument around that subject, so that sounds interesting. And then this one here, Leave the World Behind, I believe it's a movie now, but it's gotten pretty good reviews, just kind of like a thriller. Don't really know too much about it, so I don't know. And then the one you guys already saw earlier, The Goldfinch, Donna Tartt, again, one of my favorite authors. The Secret History is one of my all-time favorite books, top 10, top 15 for sure. And I read half this book about 4 or 5 years ago. Set it aside for whatever reason, I got busy, and then I lost the book. I cannot find it. So anyhow, rebought it. I'm gonna dive into this one, maybe even this week, because I've been watching some interviews about her, and I just love the way she writes. So yeah, guys, that is it. That is the book shopping for today. Thanks for hanging out with me and being patient as I went all over Shanghai looking for books today. And hopefully you enjoyed that. That is my kind of weekly routine. I don't go to all of these every week, but I usually go to a few of them every week, just to make sure that I know what's coming in. Do I get the newest titles as soon as they arrive? Again, I'm a book nerd. I'm a book nut. I love reading. I love books. I love disappearing into a great story. And sure, I could download them on my e-reader, my iPad. I do that quite often. But for me, holding a book, a physical book, seeing the books in my home just makes me feel like home. So anyhow, that's it for today. If you like this, if you want to see more videos about Shanghai travel, books, self-development, that kind of stuff, please subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video.